Also on this one's for Chuck Brown, you have the age song with the women talking about ages and the girdles and everything. So how were you guys able to bring some humor to getting older and some of the changes, especially women's bodies go through as they age?
Well, you know, that song for me was very special because the guy who wrote the song, I wrote the lyrics for the rhymes. He wrote the song, and then I started to help with the music. And actually, the hi-hat is me. The snare is me. On a lot of these songs, some of these drum sounds are me. I'm doing a lot of these drum sounds because I couldn't find the sound that I was looking for, so I made it, you know? So that's kind of like one of the things on the album as well. But with this song, the guy is married to his wife, and he's been married for maybe 24, 28 years. And when I heard the song, I thought it was such a good song, such a real song, and he wrote it about his wife. And I like that he was saying that as she's aging, he still loves her and appreciates her, and as she ages, she's getting more beautiful, because I think that we all have this issue with age, like we was discussing a little while ago. And I think with women, especially really glamorous or beautiful women, or women that see themselves in this particular way, I think sometimes they destroy their happiness concentrating on things that are inevitable. You know, like life will make us all age. People say how young I look and how good and all of this and all of that. But I don't get caught up in that compliment, because I will get older. And as I get older, I hope to age gracefully. And I hope that the person or the people will still appreciate me as much as they did when I was younger. You know what I mean? And when you find somebody that feel that way about you, that to me is the true definition of love. You see? Because I use a statement all the time. I say love is a demonstrative word that's proven through an action. So the action of expressing it in a way where it's not about, you used to look like this when you was 20, like a little baby. A baby's body is tighter than somebody that might be in their late 20s. And a person in their late 20s body might be tighter than a person in their 40s or 50s. And a person in their 50s will have a tighter body than somebody in their 70s, unless you're doing a lot of work or a lot of cosmetic work. So for me, I wanted people to also think about, you don't always have to go in there and get lipo and do this and do that. You know what I mean? Like, you could still be appreciated and loved for who you are. And if you find somebody that love you like that, that's a real situation. So, you know what I mean? So it was that kind of and then I also felt, to be completely honest, I thought about Chuck. And I thought about would he say this? How would he feel about this? And I said that yes, he would, because Chuck was in his 70s and he was still up there rocking people in their 30s, in their 20s, 40s, 50s. So did age really matter? It didn't. You just enjoyed Chuck Brown. You see what I'm saying? So that same principle applies across the board. And for me, I felt like it was important to say that.
Yeah,
I know, and then I try to do it in a way where people might, and that's the other thing. People don't have a sense of humor no more, because everybody know you don't wear a girdle. You know what I mean? But it's something that's like a little shock word to make you pay attention and make you look at it. So when you look at it, maybe you can look within it and see the deeper meaning behind it. You know, sometimes you got to do certain things to shock people, to wake them up, to make them look at something. So that's kind of like what the song was about. The man is still with his wife. And I told him, I said, I'm going to take out girdle. He said, nah, man, that's my line. And I said, damn, all right. I said, all right. I said, did she really wear a girdle though? He said, man, I don't know what she wears. Spank girdle, this, that. He's a man. He ain't know nothing. But where his heart was, you know, she knew where that was from. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Okay. And then at the end of This One's for Chuck Brown, you also got the 20 seconds or more about basically a PSA for being hygienic, especially in the pandemic stuff. So what made you do this song, and what made you want to put it on this album?
Well, I thought about how important it was for us to never forget this time period that we are living in now. And sometimes when you listen to music, it takes you back to a particular time. Like if I play What's Going On, I watch my father, or I used to watch my mother, and different people go, man, you know, the time, the energy takes you back to the 60s, you know, to right in that time when when what was going on was going on. So I looked at this time of us living right now, and I said, this is a very interesting time. And we're dealing with a time where this pandemic has changed the world forever. And I wanted people to remember while they're going through this, certain simple things that might be cool. You know, wash your hands, put it on with your kids. Let your kids, because the virus is not gone, and things are still in this space where we're all wondering what to do. But one thing that we do agree on is washing our hands. And if you wash them for 20 seconds or more, you will make a difference in passing this virus on. You know what I mean? Whether it's the Delta, whether it's the Lambda, whether it's the Mu, whether it's the COVID-19, whether it's whatever else is coming, this basic fundamental principle of just 20 seconds or more changes everything. So at the root of all the things that you could do, whether you get vaccinated or not, or whatever the case may be, this particular thing can save a life. You know what I mean? And I felt, once again, that I want to use this platform to give them that information. And at the same time, when the time comes, when this album is, you know, we're in 2030, you know, and we go back, we'll be like, yo, you remember this? Do you remember this happened? And the video, I got maybe like 25 people in the video. I got doctors, I got actors, I got athletes, I got singers and rappers, and just washing their hands. And when I called them, I said, yo, I don't want you to rap on this. I just want you to send me a video of washing your hands. And it has helped save lives. So that was the purpose of it.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think health is wealth, man. And, you know, I know from talking to you a couple times over the years and seeing your shows, you know, if you're not in shape, you wouldn't be able to do what you do, you know? So very important.
You got to be in shape, man.
Yeah. So now on to some other things I wanted to ask you about going way back. With the original Human Beatbox, I always was curious because that one, your name was written differently with Dougie, with the Y and stuff.
Right.
So how or why did you end up switching it to how we know it as Doug with the E in the middle, Fresh?
Well, the way that it was written on, you're talking about Entertainment, right?
Yes.
Well, that record was let out illegally. Like I never had a contract with that. And the guy wrote it like that on the record. So it was never supposed to be written like that.
Wow. Okay.
Right. Right. Now, going into that same conversation though, when I was younger, it would be, you know, you would say Dougie, D-O-U-G-I-E, because it was more of a, you know, it's like, you know, like it was more of a kid thing. But as you was maturing, you know, the way it was written was D-O-U-G-E, you know, to kind of give it more of a grown-up effect to it, to where it's not like I-E in it. But the way it was written originally on that particular song, it was because he didn't know how to write it. and he never got a contract, and he didn't supposed to let that record out. That record came out without me knowing it was coming out.
So you just found out it was out?
I found out that that record was out when I was driving in a car with my friends. My friends were driving me from Jersey, and we cut on Red Alert and Chuck Chill Out. And when we cut it on, the record came on, and I was shocked because me and the guy got into a creative difference in the studio. He wanted that ding, 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 ding sound in there. And I said, nah, we're gonna take that out, bro. And I said, if we put in it, we could use it a little bit, but I can't have that thing go all the way through. And then when he was like, look, I'm the boss, I'm this, and I made the beat, I made the drum roll, I wrote the rhymes, I came up with the beatbox, I came up with the concept. So I was like, how are you gonna tell me that on this thing that I don't mind you participating in the creative process, but you're not gonna give me no, if you don't put this in here, you can't let it out. You're gonna have no choice, Dougie, you gotta accept it. I was like, nah. So I left the studio and I never came back. And I just put the rhymes down as a reference. I was getting ready to do them again, but for real, I just was running them off. I said, yeah, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say that, I'm gonna say this. So he went in there and took that reference, he left that ding, ding, ding in there, and he let that joint out, bro. And I'm on the highway with my man, and I said, damn, that dude sound familiar. I said, yo, he's doing the beatbox, that's crazy. I said, oh, yo, that's me, like that. And that's how I found out about that song.
That's terrible. And funny at the same time. Okay, so another thing I was always curious, you had the Oh My God album, of course, and Play This Only at Night is on there. But then on The World's Greatest Entertainer, I always kind of looked at The Plane So High as kind of a sequel or a continuation.
Right.
So was that something you were going for?
I was going for that feeling because I felt like I created this sound in this little niche that I wanted to continue to make songs in that flavor because nobody else was making songs like that. We were the first group to ever get our songs played on The Quiet Storm, which was, you wasn't playing hip hop on The Quiet Storm. But it's because a lot of people thought Play This Only at Night was an instrumental until it came to the end. And you can't really say it's an instrumental because I'm talking through the whole thing. I'm doing the chorus through the whole thing. But I did it specifically because I felt the energy on the song was so beautiful that I put a rhyme at the end of it. And I did that purposely, you know? And then when I made the plane was a story. Like I wrote that song on the plane. I was sitting on a plane and I wrote it. That's why I said, walking on the plane, I see so many faces, some from out of town and distant places. There can never be a question of who knows who and no telling what most of them have been through. Because I was walking on the plane and that's what popped in my head. You know, I forgot I did that. You know that? That's crazy. That's a really good point. And when I walked on the plane, I wrote down everything that I seen. And then I sat down and I started to write about another part. Like when I sat down, I was thinking about my personal situation on me being on the plane now. Now I'm talking about myself on the plane, you know what I mean? And using a plane as a metaphor to describe, you know, how, you know, you're going up. When you're in a relationship, some people are afraid to take that flight. They don't want to fly because it's dangerous, you know? So yeah, musically. And then the other thing I wanted to use strings. And I always felt like I wanted to use strings in hip hop because I felt like it gives me the ability to create a different level of an emotional effect. See, like even when I did Age on this album now, I have strings in there. And the strings are in there for a specific reason because I wanted to make people feel it more, you know? But in hip hop, sometimes we stay away from certain instruments because we feel like, I'm not going to use that. I just want my beat to hit. But I don't approach it like that. The beat is going to hit, but you're going to feel something when I'm done.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.